gamers and gamestresses, welcome to my channel. This is Chrolaw75, and today I got with me a very special guest.
I'm EClyptic64.
Now, a couple days back when I shot my first video, I mentioned that as soon as I got my cables in, I would start doing reviews. Well, promise is a promise. I did get my cables in, so today we'll be looking at a game known as Hyperdimension Neptunia.
Yes, Hyperdimension Neptunia was released in America a couple years ago in 2011 by NIS. It is a Japanese role-playing game that I personally did enjoy. And if you have a thing for Japanese RPGs or anime-based games in general, I think this may be a game for you.
Now, the way we plan on doing this review isn't necessarily to give it a letter or a number grade, because honestly, what's the point?
Is there one?
True. So instead of doing it that way, what we want to do is just kind of go through and point out some of the good points and some of the bad points, maybe some of the ugly points, and let you make an educated decision based on what we've shown you today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and tackle this game.
Neptune, you're getting out of hand. You two should let this grudge go as well. It's getting rather warm in here.
I'm tired of hearing that nonsense. We've been fighting for thousands of generations. Why quit now?
It's not just about Celestia. That's what I heard from the former goddess. I won't let any of you selfish, icy bitches take the title of true goddess.
Well, right off the bat, we learned that the four goddesses of game industry really don't get along. As this game is a tongue-in-cheek parody of the console wars, I guess that makes some sort of sense. Anyway, each goddess is represented by a different gaming console. We have Whiteheart, CPU of Lowy, Blackheart, CPU of Last Station, Greenheart, CPU of Leanbox, and finally Purpleheart, CPU of Planeptune. Notice how each name is a play on an existing console? The odd name in the group would be Planeptune, which is no surprise considering that the Sega Neptune was never actually released. You know, you'd think that they'd have used the Dreamcast as a console template considering it was actually a real console. But hey, what can you do? Besides, Hyperdimension Dreamcast just doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well.
Even if you hadn't brought it up, but the result won't be what you hoped for. I won't lose! You can beg for mercy, but I won't listen! Are you ready? Too late for regrets. Back off, or not?
The three CPUs, Blackheart, Whiteheart, and Greenheart, decide to team up and kill you. The goddesses obviously hold fairness in real high regard. So, 3-on-1, obviously you're gonna get your butt kicked, and surprise, surprise, you get kicked out of Celestia.
You're all beat up everywhere. Allow me to take a look.
You're found on Planeptune, buried headfirst in the ground, where you're pulled out by Compa, a nurse in training who instantly becomes a lifelong companion. It turns out that you have amnesia and have no memories of Celestia, or of anything actually. From the very beginning, you notice that the cutscenes in this game are less like a cutscene and play out more like a visual novel. From the cutscenes, you can really bask in the incredible artwork and character designs. Also, during these cutscenes, you get a really good cast of voice actors. Sometimes in games, you get voice acting that sounds forced or just plain bad. Old Godzilla type stuff. You don't get that here, though.
This way, that way, loop it over.
The game is rated T, and some of the scenes are a little bit risque. But hey, don't let that stop you.
I don't want it to come loose. Is this the dungeon you found?
So here we are, your first real dungeon. But as with typical RPG fare, you start in the weakest dungeon. Breaking the fourth wall, Compa makes this perfectly clear. In fact, this is called the 8-bit dungeon. Nice touch, right? Basically, this game is broken down into a few distinct gaming conventions, along with the visual novel style of storytelling, which is quite good, by the way, and fits this game quite well. We have the dungeon crawler, in which you fight monsters, gain experience, and gather weapons and items to help you on your quest.
So you just finished a hard fight and you want to heal up afterwards? Well, it's not going to be that easy. One of the main problems I had with this game was the inability to heal outside of a battle. For the most part, this is simply a minor annoyance, but it does get worse. If one of your characters happens to fall in battle, they are given 1 hit point back afterwards. But the only way to heal in the beginning of the game is to get hit, and even then it doesn't always happen. So, if one of your characters dies, you're pretty much toast unless you're near the exit of the dungeon. Later on, you do get activatable healing abilities, but they're still only usable in battle.
No attacking while I transform.
Now, graphically speaking, there are some really nice effects here. The animation is smooth, and the colors are vivid and very pleasing to watch. Some of the transformations are really eye-catching, and the anime style is shown to really good effect. At least, for the first few times you watch them. Fortunately, a quick press of the L2 button will allow you to skip the lengthy animations so you can shorten the time spent in battle. Still, if you have any otaku friends, these special attacks will surely draw some wows.
In time.
The music in this game is catchy and fun, but unfortunately extremely limited. There are very few soundtracks to be found in Hyperdimension Neptunia, and after the first 2 billion times you hear a song, it gets old. Each of the 4 landmasses has a theme, and a number of dungeons found on the landmasses have themes. The same music is recycled so many times, though it kind of grates on the nerves a tad.
So yeah, everything EClyptic64 said soundtrack-wise is spot on. But the music, in my opinion, kind of plays out like an old friend. Look at something like old 8-bit Dragon Warriors or Final Fantasies or even Legend of Zelda. Not a lot of variety there as far as music goes, but what was there served its purpose, and it served it well. I guess you could say the same thing here, so don't let that be a deal breaker for you. So guys, we went through the game. We saw a little bit of the good points. We saw a little bit of the bad points. So we're going to wrap this up. But before we do, I kind of want to highlight some of the things that we enjoyed about the game, and some of the things we didn't enjoy about the game. Number one on your list, the thing that really attracted you to the game.
I think that the idea to have a game story based off of the console wars was immensely interesting.
You know what? I have to agree with that. You don't really see that too often. In fact, I'm going to take that back. You never see that. It's just one of those things that's so unique that you're thinking, why hasn't that been done before? But, you know, they did it. They strung together a good storyline based off of something that interested me. So, you know, I'll agree. That was a definite plus. Your top negative for this game, what would that be?
Like I've said before, I really don't like the fact that you can't heal outside of a battle.
Yeah, to me, that just almost killed it to the point where I didn't want to play. Because in a game, especially an RPG, it's almost our God-given right to be able to use a potion whenever we want to use it, to use a cure spell whenever we want to use it, and that was taken from us. That was almost a killer flaw. But as you progress through the game and get some of that skill built up, where it's almost possible to heal whenever you get hit, then it's okay. But at the beginning of the game, it really hurts you not to be able to heal. I want to take this opportunity to thank EClyptic64 for being with me here today and to kind of plug his channel. He's getting started. He's got his capture card in. He's going to start shooting some video, and I'm going to let him kind of take over here and explain a little bit about his channel.
Yes. I'm also going to be doing some game review stuff. It's going to be some older stuff, like around in SNES and on forward until 64-bit, like Nintendo 64, and maybe even on up to GameCube and Dreamcast and stuff like that. And probably going to shy away from some stuff like shooting games. Never really interested me that much, so probably...
Don't feel bad. I've never really had the patience or the reflexes for some of those shooting games that they got out now, so I just kind of went to the point where I'll just stick to my RPGs. I don't have to be quick, and I don't have to think fast, and I don't have to shoot anything in order to actually beat the game. Well, guys, I guess that'll wrap it up for us today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Hopefully soon we'll both have something up. This is Chrolaw75
and EClyptic64.
Thanks for watching. Until next time.